Hey, welcome back to the Handlebar Garden.
Welcome. We today are going to talk, maybe amuse you, or maybe not, on why we like to ride. You ready for that right now?
Remember the old church, what, 70s, maybe early 80s? If I have to explain it, you wouldn't understand.
That's in the video, folks.
Thanks for watching.
It's a good one.
But yeah, seriously, if it's hard to explain why.
Yep. I've got a sticker on one of my buckets that says that if I have to explain it, you wouldn't understand. Mike, he can be witty at times. I didn't know he was going to open up with that, but that's good stuff. You know, the the camaraderie. Mike and me met.
Yeah, if it wasn't for bikes, we probably would have never met.
Never met. I knew his brother. Of course, if you don't know it, Mike's older than me. Mike's younger than me. And
Quite a bit.
I went to school, went to vocational school with his brother. So I didn't, yeah, quite a bit, like 10 years, quite a bit. But I went to school with his brother, a vocational school with his brother, so I knew his brother. And
But I don't think either one of you had a bike then.
no, we didn't, no. And then later on in life, we met at a bike shop. Of course, we all had bikes then, and I hadn't seen his brother in years. I mean, we were friends, we were acquaintances. I'll put it that way. We were acquaintances then. And then, well, seen each other at a bike shop, and I'm thinking, man, I know that dude. I know that dude. And then, of course, his brother has a distinct laugh, and when he laughed, I was like, yeah, I know that dude. So anyway, him and I got talking. Anyway, that's all.
Well, I guess probably going to Bike Rally, North Carolina. Just for, I mean, we all hung out around the shop, talked to each other, but
Yeah.
as far as riding together or anything like that,
At that point, we
I
did.
think it was going to the rally.
Yeah, that it is right. Oh, he's got a memory too, boy.
A fountain
We-
of useless information.
We knew the guys at the bike shop and whatnot. They were all going over to Cherokee Rally, and then
Staying at the campground.
stayed at the campgrounds, and so we didn't know each other. We'd seen each other and talked, but now you're camping together. Well, not together, but anyway, you're in the same campground together,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know. You just kind of go from there, and you build a relationship, a friendship.
Cookouts and weekend rides.
Yep. So that's how. But like I said, if it hadn't been for riding, we'd know him.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a Harley.
No.
I mean, it worked out that you had the Sportster.
Yep.
And by that time, I had gotten an old Sportster.
Yep.
But my brother was still on a Triumph.
Yeah.
For
that's
years
true.
after that,
Yep.
we all rode together, and he was riding British Iron.
Yep. So camaraderie you get with people. We was at a bike shop today.
A couple of different ones.
A couple
today.
different ones. Yep. And the camaraderie we have with them, especially at the first one, we'll just say it, Bootlegger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our home shop, as we call it. Know people there, and enjoy people there. I've known a few people there for a long, long time, and we enjoy their company, their camaraderie. So that's one reason. I like the freedom
Yeah.
of the open road, just, and as Mike already said it, if I have to explain, you wouldn't understand. When you meet a biker, or you're somewhere at a store and somebody pulls up on a bike, you instantly have something in common.
Yeah.
Everybody rides a cage, so you don't have anything in common just because he drives a pickup or a car.
Unless it's a Jeep.
Yeah.
They've they've kind of got their own little community.
So,
Well, here we've got a video we done not long ago. We went to Forbes General Store. We took the vehicles down, and Lynn made the comment that I like riding this road on a bike, but this sucks in a car.
Yeah.
And that's traveling, going places, being on a bike, going into these roads that they're a blast to ride. But when you're in a vehicle, it's like this is a normal road.
Yeah.
All these curves and this is motion sickness.
Yep.
I mean, it's totally different being on a bike.
We were at a motorcycle campground in North Carolina a couple years ago. Didn't know anybody there besides ourselves, you know, the company that we brought. So we're sitting there. They had a big old community bonfire,
Yeah.
and we're sitting on these benches. And get to talking to a couple people, and dang, they live 15 miles from us. Nobody looked familiar. Wow, who would have knew? You know.
Yeah, and
So-
then guys from Georgia and some other places.
Yeah.
And everybody was just kind of sitting around swapping stories
Yep.
of rides, adventures they've had,
Yep.
mishaps.
Yep. So
That's, you get that. And then just being on the bike, you hear and smell things that you won't recall. Even with the windows down on the car, there's so much stuff you miss that
Yeah.
being on a bike, it puts you more in it.
well, not only that is you see things in a
Yeah.
whole different. I mean, we were on 25W coming up by the river one time, and Maddie, I mean, in a whim says, "Look," and there was a bird. I don't know what kind of bird it was. It wasn't an eagle, but it swooped down the water and got a fish. We would have never seen that in a car.
No.
Never.
Well, how many times in the car have you looked up and saw something?
Never. I don't have a convertible, so.
Yeah.
But
Even in a convertible, there's still so much you miss
well,
that
you've
you
got
wouldn't on a bike.
you've got a lot of stuff going on here, and on a bike, just the wind, the sounds, the vibration.
Yeah.
It brings and maybe for some people it wouldn't, that are scared or whatnot of riding, but it brings a peace to me that I cannot explain.
Yeah. And then, speaking of fear, that's another aspect. The throttle junkie.
Yeah.
Just coming into the curves hot and dragging pegs and just that, being right there at death's door. Some people really, that's just what they ride for.
Yeah.
The further the faster.
I get a little giddy sometimes, but my giddy's back it up and gone. As far as just being, doing it, but when you get into twisties, sometimes, I mean, it's fun. I don't know what it is about hearing your pegs, your floorboards scrape the ground, but, it's an exciting feeling. Not so much if you're not expecting it. But, and my wife, she mentioned something the other day, and I can't for life remember what it was, but but mostly we've talked to them about it, and it's the camaraderie. They just love to ride.
Even though it's kind of funny because when you're riding, you're kind of alone. I mean, even with the passenger on the back,
Yep.
you're in a zone.
Yep.
But at the same time, you got people around you that are experiencing the same thing you are.
Yep.
And then when you pull over, stop somewhere, that's when you're talking. You see that back there, and this,
Yeah.
all this.
Well, I wish I'd have seen that.
Yeah.
Or, speaking of that, we have just into the talkings of, my wife and I have talked about it for a while, of back-to-back communications. We're kind of looking into the options.
So anybody out there that's doing that, leave us a comment and let us know what
Yep.
you're using.
Yep.
And neither one of us have full face helmets.
Yes.
And that's kind of you get the wind noise. Of course, these are the cheap headsets.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe the more expensive
I
may not have that.
they've got them that come around the back into the ears, and I'm afraid from the design that I see, the look of it looks like my bucket would actually hit it. And I don't know, I don't know. So we're just, like I said, we're just in the talking phase of that, but it would be nice at times to be able to communicate back and forth without, well, we use a lot of hand signals.
Especially if I'm leading, hey, you missed a turn.
Nah, I let it go on. Generally, I remember one time you made the turn and I went straight and stopped. And she said, "Why did you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but he'll be back." And sure enough, a few minutes later, he came back. But that's the stories, and it's just stuff like that. That
See, I guess we celebrate stupidity.
yes, yes, yeah. This one time, rode in the snow. Didn't expect snow up in the Smokies, but the stories that we could just sit and bore you to death with are stories that I'm sure that you've done yourself. And just like I said, we sit around a campfire, and a lot of times we'll sit on the back porch and just kind of reminiscing over different things that we've seen and done, and some of the people we freaked out along the way. And they've been a few, time or two. But
So I guess the reason we ride is more than just the ride.
Yep. We are pretty, and we said that Bootleggers are a home shop. Both of us are loyal to this brand here, very much so. We were talking about today, what other brand motorcycle can I go and have the camaraderie, and maybe there is, I mean, maybe there is, the camaraderie we had today with folks that love.
Well, I don't know any other
I don't either.
motorcycle brand that has a stage and puts on concerts.
Puts on concerts.
And does shows, has stunt riders come in.
Has food,
Yeah.
you know,
Of course, I've never really went shopping for a Yamaha or
no, and nothing bad against that brand, not at all.
no.
They're good motorcycles. But I don't know. And our better halves, they don't get into going to the shops as much as we do.
Well, that's why they have the jewelry and the clothes and
True.
the baby stuff and the dog toys and all that is for the significant other that don't ride.
Yep.
They go in and have all that to look at.
Yep.
And that's something else. How many other brands? I mean, most of your other stuff, you go buy a Honda, you can get a T-shirt or a jacket with Honda wrote on it, but do they actually have events
Clothing
and
line?
stuff like that? What Smoky Mountain Harley does some kind of ride project where they get together,
Rushmore.
ride more,
Project Rushmore. Ride more.
ride more.
Yeah, that's it.
what
Project
is.
Ride More.
I don't know of other brands that do things like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been to shops,
Hog member,
yeah,
hog and all that.
Tennessee, different shops in Kentucky, Virginia, North Carolina, Florida,
Georgia.
yeah,
I mean,
and they've all got some kind of stage or set up something where they do something for the customers.
Yep. So that's yep. We just love to ride. I love the freedom. There was a time, it's been a long time ago now, I would take off by myself and be gone for days without a
Nowadays, people
destination.
tend to get mad when you do that.
Yeah, that was well before cell phone days. You know, you just take off. And I'll be back hopefully this day and take off. And, well, I don't do it by myself now, but, you know, got a better half with me. Usually she's with me about everywhere we go, so we enjoy that camaraderie between us. And that's one reason too, we're talking about communications. With the Ultra, I've got plugins, I can do that. We've just not done it. We've talked about it several times. So we could have a little more communication, maybe without hollering and screaming, you know, I don't know. But, and let us know why you like to ride. Or,
And let us know what you ride.
yeah, and maybe you can come back, if you have to explain it, you wouldn't understand. That's probably, we could have shut the video off right there. But, hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
What you ride, where, why, and, we believe it or not, we're actually interested in that. You know, where you're from, what state you from, that's a good one. What do you have? Of course, we're in Tennessee, we're in the foothills of the Smokies. A lot of our riding is done in the Smokies. We love it up there, you know.
East Tennessee,
Yep.
into Kentucky, the Carolinas, Virginia. I mean,
That's our kind of our,
we got all those states within easily one day of going there and back home that night.
yep. So, where do you live? What do you ride? Why do you ride? Let us know. Appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe.
And if you like this content and want to see more of it,
Yeah.
hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. Be good to one another, for sure. And always keep it
Torque to spec.